Hello, this is R.A. Burrell, Chief Analyst at Internet Honey, and I wanted to show you how the Tourism Intelligence product can help you understand your audience. The data I have here is data from a client that has a consumer marketing database. So this is from that database, but it's important to know that we can also take that database and mix and match it with data from Google Analytics, from reservations, from downstream contribution, apps, all kinds of integrations. But for this demonstration, I'm just using some data right out of the consumer marketing database. One of the ways that the tool can help you understand your consumer is by interacting with the software. So for instance, if we look at this trending on the US map, and we have data for DMA, MSA, cities, zips, etc. But for this, it's easier often just to see the differences year over year in a map, as I can visually see that several of these states have become a larger percentage of all of the conversions from traditional drive markets. So you can see that in this year there's been an increase, and if I look at year over year, I can see a continuing strong increase in market share in non-traditional markets. So using my mouse, if I am curious about a particular state, I want to know more about Missouri, and I click on that state, it will then filter the rest of my data for just that state. So I can see what are the marketing sources that brought in the conversions from that state. I can see the activity for that year. And to get back to everything turned on, I click off of the state. By hovering over a state, I can get all kinds of metrics just in the hover, looking at the percentage of total records, the conversion rate from traffic based on source, etc. Now there are other tools and widgets that I can put on this interface at one time, but I've just chosen year-over-year activity, the sources of those conversions, and of course what state they originate out of. I also have the ability to come in and filter my time frame. By using this slider, I can change my time frame, and I can also look at different types of behaviors for what I was converting. So if I wanted to see just what came through the sweepstakes, I can use these check boxes to filter out and just look at my sweepstakes like a campaign to see what were the sources of the sweepstakes, what media brought that in, and what was the demographic makeup of the people who signed up for the sweepstakes. So I can see here's what they looked like, here's what brought that in, this is the campaign. I could also go in and look at, say, keywords or other types of filters, but for now I know that these are the states represented inside of that conversion. If I wanted to compare that to visitor guide requests, I can look and see that it's fairly similar based on that year. And if I go back in and add everything, I can see that it's changed in terms of those demographics. Similarly, I can come in and look at a media buy. Let's say it's a AAA buy, and I can see what type of demographic that's providing. And as I go from source to source, I can see how the demographics of each one of the conversions. So not just what I spent, not just the traffic, but more importantly, who are the people that come through that media buy, that source. So that's one way of looking at it. And if I wanted to group those, I could take several of these values, click on the pay-per-click, and look at them all together. So I can see this is the skewing for that group. So these are some of the ways that you can use tourism intelligence to get a better understanding of the demographics of your consumer by looking at the integration of the data and using this interactive format to ask questions and get answers so that you can know who you're marketing to. Thank you.